I made this game with only one event. And this is how. First, we need to get into what is an event. This is it. You can put an unlimited amount of conditions and an unlimited amount of actions. There are these things called sub-events, but that doesn't really feel right, because they're still new events under another event. But first, quickly, what is a game? This may sound stupid, but when you have only one event, you do need a boundary. What I'll classify as a game in this challenge is just a working prototype that feels fun. And now let's actually start making the game. Before we even start about thinking about programming, we need to have an idea that works. An idea that could work with only one event. The first idea that I had was like this robot wrestling game, and I thought, what if you push the button and you push back your enemy? And then after you push the enemy, it fights back, of course. I didn't want randomness to be a part of the game, because then you could just make a slot machine and call it a game. So I made this platforming player, and depending on how long you wait, the player falls more and more, and the enemy can punch you back harder. My original idea was to use the player's Y position, and then use that for the amount that the enemy uses to attack you. And just to be sure, I made it so there's a 1-second delay. And this was pretty bad, honestly. You just needed to hold in the button and see what would happen. So I was thinking, and I thought of a very different idea. The platformer character doesn't use any events, so I thought, what if I just use that platformer character in a more unique way than just letting it fall? And then I thought of a type of platformer game. What if the enemy fights back depending on how high the player is in the level? So if you're above a certain point, the enemy gets pushed back. And at this point, the enemy wasn't really an enemy anymore, and it was more kind of a zone. First I made it so the zone changes every time you jump, but then I realized that it may not be that good. So instead I made it automatic, and every single frame the zone either goes back down or goes up. I did think about making it a scroller game, but that's not really possible. For that you needed to add events so the camera can change its position. It's pretty cool to see how much the idea changed, and I'm pretty happy with it. Of course it's not a full game, but it's still a fun prototype with just one event. If you wanted to expand on the idea, then it could actually be a good game. I didn't think of a way to end it, so bye.